I can see why people like this. I mean, it's very fun. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Welcome to the Heartbit podcast, where we delve into the heart of Bitcoin and uncover the sweet spot for enthusiasts worldwide. I'm Danny, your fellow Bitcoin explorer, and today we are going to look at how to back up our keys using the stamped seed storage system. I have the package right here. I've already taken it out of the box, but I haven't looked at anything. So let's take a look together. Well, of course, we have a hammer. We'll be making use of this in a little bit. Let's see what else we've got. This is a titanium seed plate for 24 words. Okay, let's open it up. This is sealed and delivered, and beautiful. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is the first item. Let's see what else we have. We have an anvil, very useful, because later when we're hammering, we're gonna need a solid surface to rely on. Let's take it out and take a look at it, see what it is exactly. Okay. Oh, and it comes with a rubber plate. So when you put it down, like this rubber I have right here, it's not gonna slide around, it's gonna stay in place. Let's put the trash over there. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, stone paper book. Let's open this up and find out what it is. Let's see what this is. Instructions. Use a ballpoint pen or pencil. Allow penning to dry before touching or storing. Okay, we'll figure out how to use this in a moment. Let's put it aside. We have another titanium 24 word seed, which we can set aside in case we make a mistake. Let's see what's in the box. Let's see what's in the main box. Okay, so we have the instructions, very important. We will leave this here for us to refer to as we go. Let's see what else is in the box. In the magic box. Oh my God, I already know I love this and I haven't opened it. Let's look. Letters. Let's see. We have all the letters and all the numbers. I prefer when I don't prepare like the experience in advance. That way I feel the same way as you. And it's a genuine product review, because if I find it confusing, probably so do you. So we're going to overcome the obstacles together. So let's see what else is in here. Marker. We'll find out what that is for in a moment. And finally, we have, we'll see what this is for. I'm not sure how to call that at the moment. Let's see what they call it. Oh, this is so that when I know what it's for. We're gonna take our steel plate, we're going to insert it into the guide. I guess that's what I would call this. I would call this a guide. And we set it so that we have our numbers, and this will tell us how to space out the letters so that when we fill it in, our information ends up in the correct spacing. This is great. I think this is for us to experiment, but we'll find out in a moment. Let's take it out of the bag, that way it's ready. Okay. This is so we can make our dog tag, I think. The starting place is with our wallet. Our wallet, most wallets today have implemented mnemonic seeds. A mnemonic seed is a human readable way of backing up your wallet. Your actual keys are a very large number, but through BIP 39, where they implemented the mnemonic seeds, we are able to use words instead of numbers in order to do that recovery. If you want to understand more about mnemonic seeds and the conversion between the numbers and the words, check out our What is a Key episode, and that will explain in detail how to convert the very large number that is your key into a word and vice versa. You don't actually have to worry about any of that, because your wallet should be able to do all the math for you. All you need to do is to secure your key safely in this storage system, and then you will be able to recover your funds from this information, and the wallet will be doing everything else for you. So in the show, if you've been watching, we have a private key that we use for all the episodes. It's not dangerous to share it with you because there's no funds on that wallet, but you need to be very careful about sharing your private key with anybody. Okay, so this is our private key. I have a little cheat sheet right here with it for us to work from. And you should be getting your mnemonic seed from your wallet. So you've created your wallet and now it's asking you to back it up, or maybe you created it earlier, so you need to find where the mnemonic seed is. Usually it's located in a place called Backup Your Wallet or something similar to that. So let's see, what is the next step? In this seed storage system, we're going to be storing our actual words. So we don't have to be messing with conversion sheets or anything like that. We're just going to be storing the actual words. I do want to tell you a secret though. In the example, in the pamphlet, they have entered every single letter of every word. However, in reality, you only need to store the first 4 characters of each word, because what makes the mnemonic seed word set special is that every word is unique after 4 characters, meaning there are no words that have the same first 4 characters. So instead of storing our entire word, we're going to be storing just the first 4 characters. What does that mean? That if we have a word like kangaroo, we don't have to write out the whole thing. We can just write out kang, because there isn't going to be any other occurrence of the letters K, A, and G in the entire set. Okay, and in a little bit we'll discover what this is for. I think that the objective of this is for you to write out your seed recovery words before you punch them in, to make sure that you don't make any mistakes, which is completely fair. However, your funds can be recovered just from the notes written on this book. If you do write your seed phrase in the book, you want to be very careful about where you store this. You should either destroy it afterwards or keep it very secured. Let's set this aside for now. We already have our words in this piece of paper, so we don't need the other cheat sheet. What we do need is a sturdy desk. This desk is made out of glass, so we don't want to be hammering down on this desk. I'm going to get the shelf that is behind me and set it up so that we can hammer down right here. So give me a moment, I'll set up my office and I'll be right back. Okay, the environment is set and we're ready to go. Let's open up our box and see what's inside it. In the plate, the numbers go row by row. So make sure not to go down the columns, but go row by row. So word 1 goes in the first column, first row. Second word goes in the second column, first row. Because if we make little mistakes like that, we won't be able to recover our funds. Okay, so let's try it out. Let's get started. My first word is icon. So I'm going to grab the letter I. You have to be very careful to make sure you pick the correct one. But if you get confused trying to read upside down, you can also find the letter on the edge of the stamp. So if reading the letter upside down is confusing, go to the actual stamp seed and look at it on there. For example, this one is letter C. Okay, so if you check, the guide has little grooves on it, and these grooves tell us how to distribute our letters so that we can fit them in the space that we have, and it's like even and neat. I'm gonna start with the letter I. It's hard to tell what's up and what's down. Let me look at a different letter that has an up or down. So for example, the letter G, which we can clearly distinguish, should be done by this way. Okay, so when you're stamping, you want the engravings on the marker to be facing you. This will make it so that when you stamp the letter, it'll be the right side up. Because certain, like for example, I'm going to start with the letter I, where it wouldn't matter unless I do it sideways. But in order to avoid confusion, the engraved part of the marker should be facing you. Also at the bottom, you'll see a little line, and you want to line it up with the guide. I'm only going to be using the first 4 characters of each word. So instead of lining it up with the first guide, I'm going to lining up with the second guide. That way, at the end, it'll be more centered. So let's try the first one. There's several useful tips in the instructions. Specifically, it talks about how different types of surfaces will render a different quality stamp. So the harder your surface, the neater the stamp that will appear on the steel plate. So I'm going to use their anvil and this very sturdy table so that when I hammer it down, the resulting engraving is very legible. So let's try the first one and see how it goes. I've lined up my line with my guide and I'm holding it tight, and now we're gonna give it a big bang. Ooh, that's loud. And beautiful, loud and beautiful. Okay. So another important tip is that when you set up your letter, when you're going to stamp, you need to make sure that it's very vertical. You don't want to be angled in this direction or that direction, because if you do that, the stamp will come out deeper in one side and shallower in the other. So when you're holding your marker, you want to make sure that it's very vertical and not angled in any direction, so that the engraving is done equally in all places of the letter. Okay, so now we're ready for letter C. I've aligned it with my third guide, and now let's give it a big bang. Okay, so we've engraved the letter I and the letter C. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. You want to make sure that your bottom and top lines are aligned with the guide, so that when you put the stamp on, it's kind of even. So now I gotta find the letter O for icon. Okay, next letter, the letter N. Okay, let's see. I can see why people like this. I mean, it's very fun. The cool thing about seed recovery systems is that they're like the most tangible aspect about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is very ethereal and intangible. And so when you hold your key in your hand, it seems much more real than when you have them stored on your device. And it's not just because it's fun, it's also because it's important that you secure your funds. See, most people are at risk of losing their funds because they lose their wallet than them being stolen by other people. So you want to make sure to have some sort of physical backup of your private key, so that if there's an issue, with your wallet, you will be able to recover your funds. You know, there's some additional nuances to recovering your wallet. Like, for example, the derivation path that your wallet uses can differ from wallet to wallet. So, for example, if you use a Jade wallet and then you try to recover your funds using a wallet on your phone, you might not be able to end up at the same location because the derivation path from wallet to wallet may change. If these subjects concern you, I recommend that you check out our What is a Wallet technical episode, where we explain in detail like what a private key is and how a wallet generates multiple private keys from a single number. I mean, these are complex and technical subjects, so if you feel overwhelmed, all you need to concern yourself with is that you make sure to recover your funds in the same type of wallet that you had when you lost them. Or the other option is that you try to investigate what derivation path your wallet uses, and then the plate has space on the edges for you to write additional information like your passcode or your derivation path, such that in the case that you need to recover your funds, you have all the relevant information. Because of these nuances, I recommend that you check out the episode that we're going to make next, where we explain how to recover your funds. That way you will learn more about what additional information may be necessary for you to find your funds successfully. Okay, we're on to word 3. My word 3 is blanket, but I'm only gonna write down the letters B-L-A-N because there is no other word in the set that has those same letters. You might want to wear some earplugs for this part. It's quite loud. Okay, word number 4, gas. Gas only has 3 characters. Okay, we got to word 4. You want to be very careful not to get confused. That's why this book is here. I regret cheating because, you see, in my cheat sheet, you don't know which word is what number. So I have to be very careful not to make a mistake. Really, I should fill out a page in this book so that I don't make mistakes, and I recommend that you do that. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. That was a little weak, but I don't really want to double tap, because if I double tap, it'll get hard to read. Let's not double tap, let's just be more powerful on the next one. Everything moves after you hit it, so you're gonna wanna reset it sometimes so that all your stuff comes out aligned correctly. Don't get confused by me saying my words. Make sure you use your own words. Be very careful, the 10 looks like an 18, but it's just a 0 with a slash. If you don't have earplugs handy, you can just use a little piece of cotton and that'll do. Because it's quite loud on the anvil. Efficient, but loud. It's not a big deal if it moves a little bit, but you want to try to be precise. I just made a mistake. See, I wrote M instead of N. Let's see what tools we have at our disposal to solve something like this. Let's see. What I would suggest is I'm going to take the letter I, and I'm going to use it sideways so I can scratch it out in a sense. I'm going to scratch it out. There will forever be a mistake on this one. You're going to want to be very careful when you do it. I just grabbed the wrong letter accidentally. So I didn't follow my own advice, see? Once we grab the marker, we want to look at the letter on the side to make sure we grab the correct one, not like me. So as you can see, I scratched out the letter. You can also see that I've only entered the first 4 characters of each word. That's enough for you to find the right word. The wallet is going to want the complete word, and the list of words can be found on the internet. If you don't want to go through the trouble of figuring out what word it is, then just go ahead and stamp the entire word. But I'm only going to stamp the first 4 letters because I know that I can just go and look up the complete word in the list if I don't remember what it is. Maybe instead of an I, the better idea if you make a mistake is to stamp it out with an X. That way you can align it correctly, because with the I, you run the risk of it being aligned, not being misaligned like mine was. So maybe the better solution if you make a mistake is to stamp it out with an X and then continue. You want to be fearless and hit this marker hard. The reason you want it to be etched really well is because let's say you're storing your plate in your house and God forbid your house catched on fire. The stamp seed will survive the fire damage, but it may become a little bit deformed, so depending on the temperature of the fire. So you want to make sure to hit that hole hard, because even though it's readable to the eye, to the human eye, with just a light hit, it might become difficult to read after it's smashed in an earthquake or by fire damage. That said, if you watch lots of CSI shows like I do, you would know that if it gets fire damage and it becomes difficult to read, the engraving could still be picked up by sophisticated analysis. But it might be a little bit expensive to do that, but it might be worth it if you have a lot of funds. That's why you want to hit it really hard, because you're not just fixing it for the visible eye, you're compressing all the metal underneath. And the last one, forget, because we don't want to forget our seed. Let's see. And that was it, we're done. Let's take it out and give it a look. Here, see? I did one that was misaligned, but it looks really cool. You can clearly see all the words. It looks better as I went on and I started like punching harder. You can see that the words are etched better. The first like 1 or 2 words are a little bit weak in my opinion. You want to hit it hard. You want to hit it really hard. We did it. It's done. We have secured our private key in this tiny metal plate. This is our key that unlocks our self-sovereignty. Like I like to say, we haven't just etched words on steel. We have etched a testament to privacy and sovereignty and autonomy. This is the future for humanity. So the way it works with stamp seed is that once you have the kit, if you need to create more backups, all you need to buy is the plates. The plates are not very expensive, so it's like financially feasible way of backing up your wallets. In the little book that they send you, you have at the beginning a page with numbers so that you can make notes, like putting your passphrase or if it's a multi-sig wallet, and it has enough space to like store many wallets, and you can make your notes in the front. My only recommendation is that if you store your seeds in the book, be very careful because it's still equally sensitive and it can also perish in a fire or be damaged by water. So you want to be very careful with the book. It's better if you back up your most valuable possessions in the steel plate. So maybe you have a wallet where you have the majority of your funds and you back it up in the plate, and then you have some other wallets that are not so important where you don't have as much money and you back them up in the book. You only have to buy the markers once. So once you have the kit, it's ready to go. All you have to do is get additional plates, and you can pack up as many wallets as you like. I hope this was helpful to get to know how to use the stamp seed, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.